So if you're on a budget, just how much do you have to spend in order to be able to get an affordable deer stalking rifle? Well, we're here at the Great British Shooting Show. We're going to have a wander around and see what we can find. Now this is going to be liberating. I have no sponsorships or advertising from any rifle makers, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Okay, so we've got here the Howa contractor package. Now this is really interesting because it comes with the scope, a moderator and a bipod. To tell us a little bit more about that, we have Dan. So Dan, what have we got?
We've got a basically Howa contractor package, as you've said. We do it in two varieties. You've got the obviously varmint. It's got the slightly heavier barrel. If you'd like to feel the weight of it as well.
Yeah, let me
it is quite a heavy rifle. I was going to say it comes in multiple calibers: 223, 243, 308, 65 Creedmoor. They do it in a sporter barrel action as well, so a slightly thinner barrel.
270, 30-06?
270, definitely. 30-06, not too sure if I'm honest.
But a good spread of calibers.
Good spread of calibers, but if you're unsure, contact your local dealer. They'll be able to find out all of the information.
But Dan, let's be clear about this. This is a rifle for someone you're expecting to come in. This is a package for someone where you're expecting them to come in and think, great, I'm going to go mod, scope, rifle, bipod, off the shelf. I've got the whole shebang.
Exactly.
Okay. And what's the price of this package?
£1,050.
Now, that's £1,050. That is affordable. For that sort of setup, that's incredible. So I've got a couple of concerns. Firstly, we've got a Nikko Sterling scope, haven't we?
We do indeed.
Traditionally, a lot of people might associate with small bore and air guns. Is that going to be all right for a centerfire?
A lot of people think of Nikko on the air rifles and things. That's generally a Mountmaster.
Yeah.
Obviously, for our centerfire packages, we go up to the Nikko Diamond. So that's basically the one above for the air rifle.
And what have we
and
got
that would be
on the
perfect.
package?
Generally, they are a 3x12 by 56.
Okay.
Obviously, subject to availability on the scope that's available, but we'll always try. If we've sold out of the Diamond, we'll look for the next available step up on the scope, but that won't cost you any extra. So I was going to say,
but essentially, someone could always upgrade the scope if they want.
Always upgrade the scope. Yeah, that's not an issue. I was going to say.
So one of the reasons I point out the fact that the scope is important and is it applicable for either air guns or centerfires is when you use a centerfire you have a little bit more recoil to think about, and sometimes if it's not a good quality scope it can knock the zero out. But you think that's up to the job for a centerfire?
The amount of these that we literally sell day in, day out, nobody's ever come back to us yet and said this scope ruins the package.
It's quite
perfect.
I don't want to be too critical here, Dan, because you're looking at £1,000. It's incredible value.
Yep.
It's quite heavy.
It is indeed. It's not one of the lightest guns we do, but the price point, obviously.
And it's heavy, presumably, because it's varmint.
It's got a varmint barrel. If you're looking for something a little lighter, you'd be looking at a sporter option.
But overall, you've got the mod, you've got the scope, you've even got a bipod. I mean, let's not be overcritical here. This is terrific value, £1,050 for all of that. I mean, in truth, if you wanted to change the scope, you could. You may not have to. Nikko Sterling, and Dan assures me that it's perfectly good. People are using this all the time. Contractors are using this because that's what you made it for, isn't it?
Exactly. It literally is a gun that they can basically use and abuse, so to speak. Still fires every time. And they've got the confidence that obviously the Nikko comes with a decent guarantee as well.
And out of the box accuracy?
Sub 1 MOA with using decent quality ammo. So obviously ammo does make a big difference in what you can group with. So we always say use a premium ammunition.
You've got a sub 1 MOA
guarantee on it. Yeah.
And accuracy is what it's all about. Yes, it's heavy. You may want to be using that bipod when you're shooting because it is going to take a little bit of lugging around. But as I say, let's not be overcritical here. This is phenomenal value. Rifle scope, mod and bipod, there's no denying this is great value. I've got Danelli here who's going to tell us a little bit more about the Tikka T3X. Danelli.
Yeah, so Tikka T3X has been around for years now. It's been a very successful product all over the world in deer hunting and many other hunting disciplines there are all over the world. It's a one action size that fits from 223 up to 300 Win Mag, so we have multiple caliber options available. So it's a very good, versatile tool for hunting.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
You know, It's a cracking rifle, the Tikka T3X. There's no two ways about it, and it's very lightweight as well, isn't it? Something you instantly recognise about it. Listen, the Tikka T3X, it's a stalwart, as I say, of British deer stalking. It's been around for a good many years. Why change it if it ain't broke? And at what, about 1,500 quid?
Yeah, about so.
Yeah, it's well worth considering, and you can see why we're featuring it here today. And anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
At 1,500 quid, it's been creeping up on price lately, but it's still well worth considering. So we couldn't come to the British Shooting Show without stopping by to see my good friend Frederick. Great to see you.
Nice to
How
see you.
keeping? You well?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Good.
Busy show and a lot of new products, so we're happy.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And I've got to be honest, folks, you wouldn't really expect to come to the Blaser stand to get an affordable rifle. But in actual fact, I think Frederick's going to show us a couple of alternatives. So
Yeah, we
tell
definitely.
us all about it.
Yeah, definitely. We have a couple of other brands in the portfolio with Sauer and Mauser, where we built some budget rifles on a made in Germany quality.
Good.
First and foremost, the most affordable option, the Mauser 18 stainless.
Yeah.
Stainless steel barrel action for minimal kind of cleaningness and having to look after it.
Cleanliness, I like that word. I'm sure that's a word.
3-position safety all the way back, safe, and you can't open the bolt. Stage 2, you can unload and load in a safe way. And then I always say, red is dead, forward,
Yeah, that's
fire.
a nice feature on any firearm, where you can actually lock that bolt down in position. 3-stage safety is, I think, really unique.
Exactly. And I mean, these barrels are as precise as any barrel in our portfolio. Sub-MOA guarantee out the box.
Now, everyone always says sub-MOA, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the standard that you should expect from any rifle that you get on the
100%.
shelf, isn't it? And this will perform that adequately.
And outperform that if the person behind the rifle is up to
I
it.
was going to say, because I mean, we've seen some rifles which are a lot more affordable than this, and they always say, yep, but it will still hit sub-MOA. So this is really going to be a little bit more expensive. So one might expect even tighter tolerances.
Yeah, 100. I mean, if you play around with it a bit, find the right ammo and so on, you will thumbnail it.
You've said that, and several other people have said
Yeah.
that. Buy a budget rifle, fine, but don't put budget ammunition in it.
Absolutely. Find something that's
What-
well produced and precise.
What else do we expect on this rifle?
Adjustable trigger from 1,000 to 2,000 grams. Again, make it yours, make it adjustable, make sure you're comfortable with it. And then I'd say one thing we are super proud of in this Blaser group is our triggers, and they are clear as glass and super crisp. There's no creep, it's phenomenal.
Typical German background, you're talking in terms of grams rather than our pounds.
Yeah, so it's
so what does that
2.2
equate
to
to?
4.4 pounds.
2.2. Okay, easily adequate for anyone that would
100%.
like a
For
nice-
your
nice
standard
rifle.
stalking rifle, absolutely.
Undoubtedly a great rifle, but tell us, crucially for this film, what's the price point?
Absolutely. For us, super low price point, £1,042 recommended retail. So quite a few out there with some Minox scopes and moderators already all packaged up. Speak to your retailers, get the best deal.
1,000 quid, basically.
1,000 quid rifle.
Okay, let's have a look at some more. That's the Mauser 18, a cracking rifle and well worth a look. I have to say, at £1,000, this now knocks spots off the Tikka T3 in terms of value for money. Okay, the other rifle that we're going to take a look at is the Mauser 25. Now, apparently we've stopped calling it the M25 and the M18. Maybe you can explain why.
Branding, all branding. HQ decided we want the Mauser, we want the brand out there, and hence we called the models all Mauser instead of M for a short
All right, well,
abbreviation.
one way or other, we have the Mauser 25. Now, let's kick off straight away here with the price point. So what have we got here?
So here we start at 1,638. It is our brand new 2025 Mauser.
Tell us a little bit more about this Mauser 25.
Yeah, the big news on the Mauser 25 is really it's the first straight pull non-Blaser rifle in our family, and I mean look at it. It is super fast.
Okay.
It's your hind culling, it's your fox shooting at night. Originally, of course, in Germany it comes from the driven boar. You want that really fast reloading when the boar come through.
Yeah.
And I mean precision-wise, everything the same as all of our rifles. Again, the sub MOA as is guaranteed. But really the need for speed, as I call it, is the quick thing.
Where's the safety catch on that? Is it a cocking?
It's not, it's a 2-position safety.
Okay.
It's on and off.
Yep.
And then you still have a little button that you can push to load and unload in a safe way again.
Okay. It's really nice to see a straight pull rifle here from Mauser, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if that's the type of action that you like, to be able to afford your customer that type of option is important, isn't it?
And I'd say the other big thing again is the trigger. I think we've all seen quite a few straight pull budget rifles come out in the last years. A lot of them, in my honest opinion, have pretty squeaky, horrible triggers. Try this for yourself and let me know what you think. I think it's a phenomenal
well, first
trigger.
of all, I'll be very interested to try the action. Now we're all wired up here, so you'll forgive me a little bit. But effectively on the straight pull we've got...
That's locked in when the safety's on, so take the safety off and now you can try it. And that is smooth as, isn't it?
It is very smooth actually. I've got to be honest, folks. I don't want to blow any hot air Frederick's way, but you know, this is a nice action generally. That's very nice.
Yeah. Try the trigger.
In fact, I like this cocking as well. So we've got a safety catch here, a two-stage safety you see here as well.
Forward, backwards, very kind of intuitive with your thumb. Pull it back, that's on, that's off.
Again. It's not going to take you very long to get used to that. It's a very intuitive safety catch here. And the trigger. So, all importantly, it's annoyingly nice, this one. I've got to be honest. It's actually a really, really good setup. I like it. I quite like straight pulls. I've got a Blaser R8 as well, so perhaps I find it intuitive for that reason. But it's 1,600 quid. I mean, I'm not complaining about 1,600 quid, but it's certainly representing the sort of higher end of the rifles that we've been looking at today. Is it worth the extra money from the 18, do you think?
I think personally it is. If you are into quick reloading, that all depends a bit. Look, if you want to shoot the odd roe deer and shoot maybe 2-3 deer a year, a Mauser 18 will absolutely do you. But if you are into I need to shoot 2 or 3 foxes, maybe I need to shoot the hinds, I have something to cull, I think that's the perfect tool for it.
And tell me something, because we're looking at affordable setups for people who perhaps just started deer stalking. You've got a Minox scope on here.
Absolutely.
Now the Blaser Mauser group own Minox.
We do indeed, correct.
So what's the price point for this scope?
They are about £600.
£600,
yeah.
Okay. So we're looking about 2,200 quid for that setup, plus your mod, plus your sling, a few other bits and pieces. But I think it still falls within our affordable rifle category, and it's well worth a look. Frederick, thanks very much.
Lovely to have you, and thank you for coming by.
Pleasure.
Okay, so it's at the top end of our budget, but it's just £138 more than the Tikka T3X. But to my mind, it's twice the rifle.
Okay, so now we're moving on to Sauer. Now Sauer have got a great reputation, and many of you may be familiar with Anaco, because Anaco kindly showed us the Sauer 505 for an Instagram piece we did last year. But we've got something a little bit different here, because let's remember that we're looking at affordable rifles here. We had the Sauer 100 stainless XTA, and to tell us a little bit more about that, Anaco, why don't you talk us around this rifle?
Welcome back.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Here is, as you said, the 100 stainless XTA, and we have here now a really affordable rifle because it only costs £1,488 here in England. We have the main points on this rifle, or the main features are the 3-position safety.
Yep.
Then also for sure the stainless barrel and the stainless receiver. And you also see that here this part is, the receiver is also stainless. Then you have a 5 rounds magazine, which is really easy to get out. The base is a 700 ramming, so you can use any Picatinny string or some if you want. And also with the rifle comes this adjustable cheek, which is really good for women or men who have high bones.
You know, I found that to be quite useful actually, because when we've been teaching, you know, a lot of the girls, a lot of the ladies, sometimes because they tend to have slighter faces, just being able to raise that cheek piece is quite important, so you can get a good alignment with the scope. So it's nice to see that on effectively an affordable rifle.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to point out about this rifle?
Yeah, also you have a 22-inch barrel, which comes with a muzzle thread as a standard. So if you need if you use a suppressor, it's no problem because this rifle comes as a standard.
Do you mind if I hold the rifle?
For sure.
Good. Now we're attached again here, so I can't stray too far. You know, one of the things you notice about straight away with this rifle is the polymer stock. It's very tactile. It's got a soft touch, I think you call it. You can't pick it up on camera, but of all the rifles that I've picked up so far, the touch on that is great. And I know that seems like a slightly odd thing to say, but in actual fact, when you're dealing with cold hands, wet hands, this kind of almost sticky sort of stock where you get a little bit of friction between the stock and your fingertips is really nice. So a cracking rifle. I like the look of these Sauers as well. I mean, that's perhaps because initially I had a Sauer 202. You may remember those 202s. And you get this beautiful design on the front stock there as well. But overall, it's a cracking rifle, and again, another one well worth looking at. Sauer have got a great reputation, and if you can afford the £1,400, then again, another one well worth a look. Anniko, thanks ever so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Another corker of a rifle demonstrating you can buy great quality for less than you might think.
So last year, you may remember, we took a look at a Bergara rifle, and that was a good representation of an affordable rifle, so it would be remiss not to include that in this film. And I'm here with Lewis again. Viewers will be familiar with Lewis. Thanks for joining us, Lewis. Great to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Now, we got something different this year. Now, before we looked at the Wilderness, I think, didn't we?
Yes, we did, yeah.
Now, but we got something new out for this year.
That's right, yes. Our standard line, the B14 series, we've released, obviously, the thumbhole, the B14 thumbhole. So basically, it's not fluted. It's your standard barrel, 5 contour, 5.5 contour, not fluted bolt, performance trigger, AICS magazine. Comes in this rather fetching black spider effect. So,
I have to say, I like it. Do you mind if I handle it?
Oh, please.
Yeah, now you see, I like these rifles straight away. They're quite intuitive for me. They've got great barrels in them, and I think that's one of the things that Bergara pride themselves on. Sub-MOA accuracy, of course, but presumably we can do a bit better than that, can't we?
Yes, 100%. I mean, it's down to the shooter, isn't it?
100%, 90%.
Okay, 90%. I'll say 90%.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely, yeah. It's sub-MOA guarantee, but we expect them to shoot a lot less.
Okay. So what you've done with this rifle, Ron, the Wilderness, is you've stripped off some of the expense, effectively.
Yeah, yes.
Which brings it in at a price point of what?
£975.
That's £975. Now, I think it's a great rifle and something that's well worth a look. But just to tell us a little bit more about the detail of the rifle, I'm going to hand it back to Lewis, and perhaps you can point out some of the main features.
Well, obviously with the Wilderness series, they were camouflaged, they were Cerakoted, they were fluted. This one obviously has removed all the fluting from both the barrel and the bolt. It's nitride finished, it's a blue finish. Still has a performance trigger, still has the AICS magazine, and obviously it's a black spider finish with stock paint. Again, that will be individual to each rifle, like the Wilderness is.
Just £975, that's just incredible value.
Another rifle you might want to consider is a Ruger. Now, they've got a great reputation, and I'm here with Craig, my friend from the Barbary Shooting School. Great to see you, Craig.
Right? Enjoying it?
Yeah, really good. It's been a good show, hasn't it?
Perfect.
Now, some of you may remember Craig from a couple of our other films. Well, here today, he's going to show us a little bit more about the Ruger. Now, which model Ruger is this?
So this is the new American Gen 2. So it's basically a play on the old Ruger Generation 1. Yeah. They've just made it a lot more user-friendly. So they've listened with the adjustable cheek piece. Okay. So this now comes with a variety of inserts. You can go up, down, just knock it off, put a different one on. Spiral fluted barrel. Muzzle brake as standard, which you can crack off and obviously put a moderator on. Picatinny rail as standard. Sort of a rough tech finish, which is all painted. Yeah. And the best thing is £845.
It's £845. I don't know if you caught that. Now, one thing that strikes me, Craig, when I look at this, they have done a lot of add-ons onto this rifle for £845. Yeah. I mean, they've actually taken a lot of care over this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like just spiraling a fluted barrel is not a cheap thing
but there's
to do.
May I hold it?
Yeah, I
mean, there's other things I notice about this. I mean, we've got some detail in here on the pistol grip and up here on the stock.
It's agricultural. It's not. It's not Seiko 90 smooth and slick.
Agricultural. I like that. It's not, but it does the job. Sub-MOA, I imagine.
Sub-MOA,
everything is, isn't it?
5-round magazine, box style.
£845. Fluted barrel there. How many is it? Taking the magazine?
5 in those.
One thing I quite like is this trigger as well.
It's that sort of double stage safety where you have to take the slack off the centre before it'll go.
You get it on a lot of pistols sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
And your safety here are fairly intuitive.
Again, it's 3 position as well, so you don't have to liven the rifle up to take your round out. You can just go up the one click and then the bolt will open without livening the round up.
So it's three stage safety.
Yeah.
Nice detailed stock. Fluted barrel. Picatinny rail. 845 or 845 quid.
Yeah.
If I was going to be critical, I would say you hit the nail on the head. It's a bit agricultural, but well worth a thought. Craig, thanks very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
I wanted to like this, it's got some great extras, but the action, well, it just lets down what is otherwise a nice rifle.
So what does affordable mean? Well, one man's affordable is different to another's. We've been looking at budget rifles, but of course at the far end, some people may want to take a little look at something like a Holland & Holland, and we have Mike Jones here to show us something that's a little bit special if you happen to have 100 or 200k knocking around. Mike, over to you. Show us this wonderful firearm.
So what we have here is a Royal double rifle, a Royal Deluxe no less, in this case chambered in 500 Nitro Express, but for a new order we'll chamber it in any round of Sir's choice, all the way up to 700 Nitro Express, was our proprietary caliber, largest commercial caliber available to a non-military person.
And Mike, tell me, do you find, I mean, Holland & Holland have been approaching 190 years now. They've got an enormously high profile and excellent reputation in building firearms. You know, this is a one-off investment. Do you think that Holland & Holland rifles, do they keep their value?
I think this piece here is testament to just that. This is a pre-owned example retailing for £129,000. A new one would cost you more at today's market rate, but the element of scarcity for the time, the lead times involved in building one, and the fact there are not so many on the planet compared to mass-produced items, that element of scarcity, the prestige of it, the fact that it is the most robust and elegant mechanism on the market, all of those factors help, and the name above the door help drive that retail value.
As I say, Holland & Holland rifles, I mean, what a beautiful investment piece, what a beautiful rifle to have. One man's affordable, well, it may be different to another's.
Okay, so let's be honest, it's a bit chunky, but hey, maybe if I win the lottery, it'll be affordable.
Remember, this is completely unbiased. We've received no funding toward this film, so I can say pretty much what the hell I want and give you my honest opinion. I hope that this shows that there are some fantastic affordable rifles out there. If I were to summarise, I really wanted to like the Ruger, but I didn't. The action was poor. The stalwart that was the Tikka T3X is now eclipsed by the Mauser 18 and Sauer 100, which feel like better quality at less money. The Howa, well, it's great value, but it's nowhere near as nice as the Bergara, which is just a touch more. The new Mauser 25, it's the pick of the bunch, but then, hey, surprise, surprise, it's the most expensive. But then again, it's only £138 more than the Tikka T3X. In summary, if money's too tight to mention, I'd go with the Bergara or the Mauser 18. If I want to push the budget, well, it has to be the Mauser 25. It's the top end of our budget, but my God, it's an innovative quality rifle that I could have easily imagined seeing on the shelves at twice the money. So that's it from the Great British Shooting Show. It's been absolutely fascinating to take a look at some of these rifles. I hope you found that useful, and if you did find this useful in some of our other films, then please just take a moment to subscribe, like and hit the notification bell. You'll be doing us an enormous favour. Thanks for watching.